Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Sunday, June 14th. Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Stanley Cup is in the building for the first time in this series as the Carolina Hurricanes are one win away from their first Stanley Cup in 20 years, exactly 20 years, 2006, when they beat the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games, which was a great series. This has been a great series. The Vegas Golden Knights looking to stay alive, of course, at T-Mobile Arena. We'll obviously get to that in a moment. Well, just a couple thoughts on Game 5, which, of course, took place on Thursday night. And to me, when watching Game 5, and we had our final betcast of the season on Thursday night, thank you all season to Patreon members that joined us for the Patreon betcasts all season, everyone else that joined us for the monthly free-for-all betcasts. As always, they were a lot of fun. And, of course, looking forward to more of them next season when we do it all over again. But when you look at Game 5, it just looked like there was a growing separation between these two teams as far as not only performance on the ice, but just where they're at physically at this point of the Stanley Cup Final. Carolina, I thought, imposed their will more than they have at any point in this series. I thought after the first period, they gave up the first goal, but really after that, I thought they controlled the flow. I thought they didn't give Vegas very much offensively. I thought they played an outstanding game defensively in Game 5 as well. Vegas was at 10 shots forever, it felt like. And they just didn't give Vegas all that much room to operate in the last 2 periods. Brandon Bussey, when he had to make a few saves, he was there. And obviously Carolina was opportunistic with their chances. And another game in this Stanley Cup Final where Carter Hart gives up 4 goals, which is something that he has done now in every single game in this series, win or lose. Carter Hart has allowed 4 goals or more in all 5 Stanley Cup Final games to this point. And John Tortorella can say whatever he wants in the postgame and lose his shit about poor Johnny Lazarus, who asked him, I thought, a legit question. I thought it was. Sometimes when you ask the goalie question, it's ridiculous. It's unwarranted. It's not unwarranted in this case when he asked John that after Game 5, in my opinion. Because the guy that's backing up Carter Hart's won a fucking Stanley Cup and played great in that run in Adin Hill, and yet he has become the forgotten man. I mean, I seriously think that when I hear John Tortorella speak sometimes, Adin Hill doesn't even exist on the Vegas Golden Knights. I sometimes really think that. Like, does he even play? Does John Tortorella even know he's signed under contract for this Vegas Golden Knights team? Like, and he loves him some Carter Hart. There is no denying that whatsoever. But boy, oh boy, for him to flip on poor Johnny there, saying that question is the dumbest question I've heard. I think it's a legit question because Carter Hart hasn't played as well in this series, and I think his level of play has come in question. Now, the counter to that is Adin Hill hasn't had a good year. That is all true. There's nothing false or incorrect about that. But at the same point in time, you do it maybe because you need a spark. This is a guy that did win a Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. I think it's not stupid to ask the question, and I don't think it's stupid to consider making a goaltending change if you're Vegas, but they're not going to do that. It's clearly going to be Carter Hart once again in Game 6. But to me, the bigger issue is Vegas looks like they're running out of steam. They really look to step slow throughout Game 5. Carolina winning all the foot races. Carolina winning all the puck battles. Vegas losing William Karlsson's a big deal too. Do not lose sight of that. He was playing excellent at both ends of the ice. He was chipping in offensively. He was playing great defensively. And that is a huge loss now for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm not going to, come down too hard on Mitch Marner. He's had a phenomenal playoffs, but that was a Toronto Maple Leaf performance in the playoffs for Mitch Marner in Game 5. He was invisible. He didn't do anything. And these are when you need, like, Mitch Marner's had a great playoffs. And even if they lose and go quietly, including him, no one's going to rain on his playoffs. It was great. But these are the ultimate moments where you got to go that one step further to finally accomplish your goal and win a Stanley Cup. And he's got to bring it tonight in Game 6. He can't be doing what he did in Game 5. No way if Vegas is going to have a chance to force a Game 7. But at the end of the day, look, Carolina looked fresher, faster. I think there's more physical toll right now on Vegas. I'm not convinced Theodore's anywhere close to 100% right now. At this point in time, some of the mistakes he's made in the last two games, like all of a sudden, the last couple of games, I'm seeing Shea Theodore cough up the puck, lose position in the defensive zone. I'm wondering what the hell's going on. I think he's really battling a series. We know Braden McNabb ain't 100%. This guy is just all guts, all heart, trying to gut this thing out and play in the rest of this series. He ain't even close to 100%. And this is where you're seeing 4 games, 5 games through the first 3 rounds for the Carolina Hurricanes really start to pay dividends. That they had to play one of the fewest number of games through the first 3 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs in recent memory, and they just look fresher right now. And we'll be talking Game 6 in a minute, but Alex, I'll turn to you. That's why I'm real concerned about the state of where Vegas is at going into tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a Carolina team that has caught on steam throughout this postseason, and they've been able to navigate the waters much smoother than in previous years. Obviously, the biggest culmination of that being winning the Eastern Conference, getting to this point, and getting over that hump. And when you look at I'll just say it. What I said before we got on the air. You flip the calendar exactly 2 months back to April 14th. We're not talking about Vegas being in the Stanley Cup Final. We don't feel like that this is a Vegas team that should be playing in a Stanley Cup Final if you go back to April 14th. But we could certainly say Carolina was a contender in April and in March and in February before and after the Olympic break. And this is a spot where we expected to see Carolina going all the way back to September and October. Vegas, they had the rocky road, and it seems to have caught up with them. And like you said, now you're playing a team that's fresher, a team that's feeling themselves, and a team that can taste the championship, that one game away. That's when things get serious. When they say when the Stanley Cup finally enters the building, that's when you know it's for real. And like I said, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I think tonight might be the end.
Well, like I said, if you're Vegas, Vegas is going to need, as we start to pivot now into Game 6 tonight between Carolina and Vegas. Obviously, it's Carolina, 1 win away from the Stanley Cup, leading this series 3-2, going into game number 6 tonight. We've got Carolina. How about the fact Carolina, a slight road favorite at the moment here in Game 6? -115, not much, but still a slight road favorite, -115. Total 5.5, shaded to the over. Some books have 6, so make sure you shop around regarding the total going into Game 6 tonight. I think for Vegas to win tonight, they're going to need monster games from Mark Stone, Mitch Marner, and Jack Eichel, the core 3, I guess you could say, for them. I think Marner's kind of quieted down, since his monster game in game number, I think it was Game 3. Yeah, Game 3. Last 2 games have not been spectacular from him. Mark Stone, I don't think Mark Stone was bad last game, but wasn't a phenomenal game by him compared to what we have seen. And I think you need more offensive punch from Jack Eichel. I think Jack Eichel I think he's stuck on 3 assists in this series. That's it, as far as what he's been able to do offensively. So those are your catalysts. And I know you've gotten great play from Close Shave Barbashev, Ivan Barbashev at times. Brett Howden has been phenomenal in these playoffs for the Vegas Golden Knights. But this is where you need your bell cows to answer the bell, answer the call here, facing elimination here tonight. And they're going to have a big game. Like I said, I'm worried about where we're at physically with Theodore. He has done shit that you do not see when he's 100% healthy. I'm convinced he's playing through something significant right now, Shea Theodore. And everybody's banged up, but some people have it worse than others. Everybody's hurting. Everybody's feeling it right now as far as wear and tear, banged up and bruised, and some level of injury. But there are players that are feeling it more severely than others. And I'm convinced in the more severely category, Alex, is Shea Theodore. And there's no question Braden McNabb's in that category as well. There's no doubt. And now you lose William Karlsson, Wild Bill, one of your best two-way players, both ends of the ice. The way he plays defensively, I mean, people have to realize how good he is defensively, and that hurts as well. And it's probably why Carolina looked more dangerous once he left the game as far as chances generated and what they were able to do from an offensive standpoint. So I don't underestimate the heart of Vegas and the desperation we'll see. This is the first time in a while now that they've faced elimination here going into Game 6 tonight. I'm trying to think in the back of my mind. I don't think they have faced elimination yet in these playoffs. No, they haven't. No, they haven't, because they were never at a point where, in Anaheim and Utah, the series went 6, but they were always up 3-2. They were never down 3-2 in those two series when it was all said and done. And, of course, they swept Colorado. So this is the first time in these playoffs Vegas is facing elimination. But Carolina's looking a step faster. They look like they got more gas in the tank. I think they're the more healthier team, top to bottom. Concerns about Carter Hart. And John Tortorella can say all he wants. I know this guy is going to bounce back and give us a great game. And Carter Hart saying, I'm going to give us a great game. I got to see it now before I believe it. This is still a guy that's given up 4 goals or more now in every game in this series. It's nice to say it. I'd shut up and let my play do my talking for me. The great Rick Bowness line when he flipped out about his Columbus Blue Jackets earlier in the season. That's what I would say to John Tortorella and Carter Hart. I don't want to hear that, hey, he's going to be great. He's a better goalie than he's shown. He's going to show it. He's going to bounce back. No. To use the Rick Bowness line earlier this season when he railed on his Columbus team, I'd shut up and let my play do my talking for me. That's exactly what I would say to Carter Hart and John. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Be ready to play a better game here in net for your team here tonight. So when it comes down to this game, look, and another thing too is I always make a point of it in these elimination games for the team that's trying to end the series. How good is this team in closeout games? How good are they at trying to finish a series? Go look at Carolina's track record trying to finish a series this year. I don't think it could be any better. It's not only 3-0 with a chance to eliminate an opponent here in these playoffs. They did it on the first try in all 3 series. First chance they got to finish Ottawa, they did. First chance they got to finish Philadelphia, they did. First chance they got to finish Montreal, they did. And the Montreal game was an ass-kicking. It was just a bludgeoning for the Carolina Hurricanes over Montreal. I think they get it done on the first crack tonight. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes minus 115. I think they're going to lift the cup in Sin City at T-Mobile Arena tonight. Carolina minus 115. I'm going to go over 5.5 because every game's gotten to 6 goals in this series. I don't even care. It's later in the series and it's game 6. We've seen 6 goals minimum in every game this year. So if you're going to give me a 5.5, I'm taking over 5.5, and I'm going with that SGP that just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It keeps on coming through. Carolina plus 2.5, Vegas plus 2.5, combined with over 4.5, and also one that's Carolina plus 2.5, Vegas plus 2.5, combined with both teams to score 2 goals. Both of those have cashed in every game in this series so far. Every single game. Those 2 same-game parlay combinations have come through. So I'm going to be back on those as well. That's really it for me here tonight as far as pregame, other than props. I do have a ton of props, which I'll mention in a moment. Alex, Game 6, Carolina, Vegas.
Yeah, I'll be brief. This is Carolina's spot. Take care of business. Win the cup. Like you said, you've had all the chances in the world to beat Carolina. You've had, every chance you've had it to knock a team out. Like I said, first shot. You've gotten rid of them. That's called killer instinct. Something we have not seen from this Hurricanes franchise, arguably, in 20 years. And I think, like I said, with how beaten up Vegas is and what they've gone through, it's been a hell of a run for this Golden Knights team to get to win the West, get to this spot. But it just seems like Carolina just has a little bit more energy, a little bit more gas in the tank. And I think that's going to come to fruition. So minus $1.15, I am on Carolina. I'm also on empty net goal to be scored in the game, plus $1.10. Hurricanes to score sit empty net goal, plus 225. If you shop offshore at BetOnline, you can find a third period over 2, flat 2 at minus $1.15, where you've seen 30s and 35s at other places. So shop around offshore, friend, with that prop. Third period over 2, minus $1.15, along with empty net goal by Carolina, and the Hurricanes to win Game 6 and win the Stanley Cup.
There we go. Good stuff indeed. Excellent stuff. I agree with a lot. I forgot the empty net props. I'll probably get in on those too. It is an elimination game after all, and the third period over, of course, which we've talked about as well. And I'm going to dabble too. It's a great price, and I know Robert mentioned it. And how about, and I'll play the clip in a minute, but Carolina team total over 3.5. is a real nice plus price. And, I'm late to the party getting involved with the Carolina team total. I hope now that tonight's not the night they finally don't score 4 goals, but they've scored 4 goals in every game in this series, the Carolina Hurricanes, and you can get a nice plus price on that Carolina Hurricanes team total over 3.5 at plus money. So I'm definitely going to get involved with that here as well as far as this goes. Let me see if I can get this on the screen. We had I'm going to give you your chance to revel in your moment of fame here, Robert, but let me just bring this up here. There we go on the screen. Here we go. Let me get the volume up. Yes, Robert Carlson, who's in Vegas, hoping to see a Carolina Hurricanes victory. Let me just make sure I get this out here.
Cup Final. Hundreds of Caniacs hopeful will witness a moment in time that's been 20 years in the making.
Just so happy for this team, so happy for this really special group, so we wouldn't miss it for anything.
I woke up Friday morning, said, let's do it. Only live once, give it a shot. Did a scramble drill. Everyone got different flights, and we're all coming here 2 hours apart, and the hotels were cheap, so we did it.
It's a 2,100-mile trip from the Triangle to see the Canes take the ice inside T-Mobile Arena, and fans have one message for the Vegas Golden Knights. Take warning.
Everyone just wants to see a really good hockey game until the puck drops, and then then all bets are off. We're all Canes fans, and they're all Vegas fans.
That's right.
Everyone's going to be loud. It is going to be so fun. I cannot wait.
Canes fans want the team to put this series to rest for good. 1 week after a
there he is, our guy.
It went to double overtime. For Game 6, the Canes have one mission and one mission only: send the cup back to Raleigh.
I'm so pumped. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity tomorrow. They got to really bring the heat.
You got to finish it off, take care of it.
There it is, Robert Carlson, our very own.
They'll put anybody on television these days, won't they?
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. Him and David, man. I mean, geez, like they just can't get away from the cameras involved in that Carolina Hurricanes team. David's even worse, man. My gosh, I mean, the social media is posting him everywhere. My goodness. Post game after Game 5, there he is. There's a picture of him on the Canes Instagram. Oh my gosh, and he's there too in Vegas, trying to take in the potential opportunity to see their team raise the Stanley Cup. So, like I said, it's good stuff, Robert. You did that well. Good answers to those questions. Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
The kind of emotions you should be feeling. Well done. Good stuff. We thought we'd play that there, get a kick out of that. Seeing one of our Ice Guys fam getting some shine, if you will, in a little story from the Carolina television network there, previewing Game 6. From what I understand, and I don't know if, David more than Robert sometimes fudges things a little bit sometimes when talking about his Carolina Hurricanes, but I don't think he's fudging it with this in saying that he thinks there's going to be a massive amount of Canes fans making the trip to Vegas for Game 6. I don't doubt that. I have a feeling Red will be represented quite well in T-Mobile tonight.
Well, like the other guy said in that interview there, he's saying about how, tickets were cheap. Airfare was fairly cheap. The hotels are dirt cheap right now in Vegas because no one's staying in Vegas. So it makes sense that, Canes fans, if you can get a ticket, fly in and find a ticket to the game, or find one of the many, many incredible bars in Las Vegas and plop yourself down and watch the game.
There we go. Good stuff. Appreciate it very much. Like I said, great show. Oh yeah, props, man. I almost forgot to give out. I was just like, wait a minute. I'm so caught up in playing that clip here with our guy Robert. Forgot to mention the props. I mean, I don't really know if I have to go into much detail. I mean, I'm on Jordan Staal goal prop. It's a bargain bin again. It's one of my bargain bins again. Jordan Staal. How can it not be? I mean, he's been remarkable. He's leading the series in goals. He scored in 5 straight games. He scored in every Stanley Cup Final game so far. Jordan Staal. We're going back to that well once again. As far as shots on goal, same thing with Jordan Staal, the captain of Carolina. He's gone over 1.5 shots in 6 straight games. I like Taylor Hall. He's gone over 2.5 shots in 4 straight games, so goal assist for him. I'm on board with that. Jackson Blake, same thing, goal assist. Logan Stankoven, same thing, goal assist. Hurdle and Theodore have both gone over 1.5 shots on goal in 3 straight games, so no qualms about going in the goal score in the shots on goal with both of those guys going into Game 6 here tonight. Sebastian Aho's heating up, 4-game point streak, Theodore, 3-game point streak. Ehlers with points in back-to-back games. Shane Gostisbehere with points in back-to-back games. Certainly interested in either point prop or goal/assist with both of them. Or all of them, I should say, those players on those point streaks going into tonight as far as that goes. And just as far as the blocked shots are concerned, we've talked about it with Chatfield all of a sudden after that great, I think it was 7 in a row, he had gone over 1.5 blocks. I think the last 2 he's gone under. It is still, though, 8 of the last 10 overall, which is pretty good entering tonight. Shea Theodore's gone over 2.5 block shots in 3 straight games, and you can get plus money on that. And obviously, with backs against the wall for Vegas, you got to expect block shots are going to be something, especially on a Tortorella coach team, where he emphasizes that. So maybe that's pretty good value, I think, for Theodore over 2.5 block shots. It's gone over in 3 straight, and you're getting a plus price on that. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Looking forward to it. And again, just to remind you, if we end up being dead wrong, and we do have a Game 7, in this series on Wednesday night. Obviously, we'll have a show Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern to talk Game 7, and then our season finale would be Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. If the series does end tonight and Carolina lifts the Stanley Cup, then tomorrow on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, that's our Aloha show. That is going to be our Bon Voyage into the offseason, our season finale edition of the show. And as usual, that show is going to be recapping the end of the Stanley Cup Final, and we always do our futures look ahead to the next season on the season finale show. Just some initial thoughts on value, teams we think might be worth considering for Stanley Cup futures next season. So the season finale show will be tomorrow if Carolina wins the Cup tonight, and the season finale show will be Thursday after Game 7 if this series is extended. All right, great stuff. WizardSportsPicks.com. Make sure you check out the website. NBA's over now, but Stanley Cup Final, MLB, CFL, World Cup. Make sure you check it out. Lots of great content now on the YouTube channel as well. WizardSportsPicks.com. And, of course, Patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, betting card, which is Stanley Cup Final today, obviously, but all non-NHL days. And we're going to have a lot of them now for the next few months, obviously. We're going to have the sports betting card posted each day. Today, I'm also, even though this is a NHL day, so normally I don't post bets and other sports on the Patreon card, but Alex did send me his UFC stuff, so I will make sure I get that up on the Patreon page with the hockey here today later on. So because it is that UFC 250 event, and I know Alex is in action with that UFC event tonight, and boy, that should be just interesting to see how that goes down. That's all I'll say about it. Yeah. Interesting. To see how that all plays out. But Patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 per month. Make sure you get on board. And we appreciate you guys that stay on board all off season. We're going to have the betting card every day in all the other sports. We're going to have the free agency recap show in July, which will be Patreon exclusive as well. Tons of Player Suite interviews are coming your way as well throughout the summer months. We finally got some people that got back to me, and we're going to get these recorded over the summer. So that'll be for Patreon members only as well. We plan on bringing back the 32 teams in 32 days once we get to September, closing in on the start of the season. That was fun to do last year, and we'll get team preview videos done, nice short little 10, 15-minute videos on each team going into next season. So that'll be Patreon exclusive as well. So appreciate everyone on board. $10 per month. Patreon.com/Ice Guys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. It's pretty much summertime at this point. I mean, it's nice and warm just by everywhere. You get a little rainy in some spots. It's a great time to grab some t-shirts, hoodies, jackets. We got caps, we got mugs, we've got all kind of wonderful Ice Guys items that you can wear and brandish and use during the off season as well as during our time along with each other. So grab it and get on board. iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Check out the Ice Guys store today.
All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up. Oh, there we go. Right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
right. And by the way, it's a great hockey day today because we don't not only have Stanley Cup Final Game 6, but Alex got the Chicago Wolves jersey on. It is Game 2 of the AHL Calder Cup Final. Toronto leading 1-0 after a Game 1 victory. Game 2 this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's a Chicago bounce back spot. I wasn't crazy about the price, though, at -135, and I'll explain why. Toronto's been a freaking road warrior in these playoffs. They were 3-0 at Wilkes-Barre Scranton in the last round. They won every road game in that series. I wouldn't be shocked if Toronto goes up 2-0, and then Chicago goes into Toronto and gets back in the series and wins on the road in Toronto. I think they're better on the road, both of these teams. Toronto's been incredible on the road in these playoffs. We saw Chicago win a Game 6 and Game 7 in Colorado to pull that series out of the fire in the Western Conference Finals to get to the Calder Cup Final. These two teams have been so freaking good on the road that you would think in these spots, home team down 1-0, you want to back the home team. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Maybe first period, if you really want to think Chicago comes out strong, maybe that's the way to go. But that full game money line price, to lay that against a team that's been as good as Toronto's been on the road, I'm not sure I want to do that. I could see Toronto going up 2-0, and Toronto's only 500 at home in the playoffs this year at Coca-Cola Coliseum. That's why I kind of think I wouldn't be totally shocked if it's 2-0 Marlies. They win today, and then Chicago goes into Toronto and wins at least a couple there and gets themselves back into the series. I could totally see that happening, Alex, with how great these teams have been on the road, both of them.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah,
we got you. Yep.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I mean, the early start time, 2-3 o'clock, which is typical for Wolves games on a Sunday. Not really crazy about having that start time necessarily for the Wolves, but like I said, it wouldn't shock me to see if Toronto gets another win on the road and things kind of switch up once they go back to Toronto for games. They would be 3, 4, and 5 if necessary in Toronto. And I also want to make a note too, starting with Game 3, the rest of that series will be available to people in the U.S. on NHL Network.
There you go, NHL Network. And I know that Sportsnet here in Canada is actually showing it on one of their channels as well. It's very interesting that they didn't use the Marley broadcast or feed. They actually used Bill Gardner and Jason Shaver on Sportsnet the other night. It was the Chicago broadcast. Okay. Very, very surprised by that. But nevertheless, maybe that's the only feed they could obtain. Who the hell knows? But like I said, that was just a little bit surprising. Good team, though. I like Jason and Bill. Yeah. Good stuff. Very good. Jason Shaver's got a good broadcasting voice. Really good. Mm-hmm. No doubt. All right, Game 2 of that, 4 p.m. Eastern, leading into the Stanley Cup Final. So like I said, really good hockey day. All right, let's hope for a really good day with Bargain Bin Special of the night. This could be the last Bargain Bin Special of the night. We kind of think it is. We'll see, though. Alex, we'll start with you. Game 6, Bargain Bin Special of the night.
I'm going to go with a player that I had very, very high hopes for all the way back in October. High enough to the point where I actually bet him to win the Norris Trophy. It'd be Andre Miller. Now, of course, he did not have a Norris Trophy type season, but he has come in the clutch with a couple of goals during this postseason. He has played very well. He has been an important piece to this Carolina team, and should they win this championship, he certainly was an important part of it. Andre Miller, anytime goal scorer, you can grab that at FanDuel plus 950. That'll be my bargain special for Game 6.
All right, good stuff indeed. All right, my Bargain Bin Special of the night. Well, you already know who it is for Carolina. We're riding the red-hot captain of the Canes. He just cannot stop scoring right now. He's been incredible. He's firmly in the Conn Smythe Trophy conversation just based on his performance in the Stanley Cup Final alone. He scored in every game, 6 goals in the series all told for Jordan Staal of the Carolina Hurricanes, plus 330. DraftKings, the best price out there for Jordan's. That price is coming down finally, but it's still somehow bargain bin worthy for Jordan Staal, plus 330 for my Carolina bargain bin special of the night. My Vegas bargain bin special of the night. We're going to go back to him one more time. And no, not just because I love singing the jingle. Close shave Barbashev, Ivan Barbashev, plus 370 for the Vegas Golden Knights at FanDuel. So Jordan Staal, plus 330, Ivan Barbashev, plus 370. For my bargain bin specials for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you got for best bet?
On this day 20 years ago, June 14th, 2006, it was Carolina in the finals in an absolute war with the Edmonton Oilers. Actually, Oilers ended up winning 4-3 in overtime. They extend that series with the series that went all 7 games. That's not the case with this Carolina team this year. This is a team where when they get a chance to take out their opponent, take out their enemy, and advance to the next round or advance to the championship, they've shown that killer instinct. And I think they show it here tonight in the chance to get rid of Vegas, bring that Stanley Cup back home to Raleigh for the first time in 20 years. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes, minus $1.15 on the money line as my best bet.
And you know what? I like it. I'm going to go with the team total. Just it's Carolina as well, but I'm going to go with the team total instead because I love that price. Here I am. Da-da-da-da. Rock you like a hurricane. Over 3.5 with the Carolina Hurricanes team total, plus 145. Again, this team total has hit in all 5 games in this series. Carolina has scored 4 goals in every game in this series. And don't forget, if they're up in the third, and maybe let's say in the third period they've only scored 2 or 3, they can still get to 4 goals because Vegas is going to pull the goalie earlier, and you'll get those empty net goals to get you over the team total. That's a very real possibility. So Carolina team total over 3.5, plus 145 for my best bet here for Game 6. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Reminder, the Ice Guys is live every Stanley Cup Final game day. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you either Wednesday for Game 7 or tomorrow for our season finale show right here on the Ice Guys.